Hi, I'm Marcy Lundy. Today is Tuesday, March 7th, 2023, and this is the Cult of Kindness podcast. I'm really excited today to have our guest on, children's author Wade Bergner. Wade, welcome.
It's great to be here, Marcy. Thanks for all the
Oh,
great work you do.
no, thank you. Wade has such a wonderful children's book out called The Window Box. uh, Way when I first read the book. First of all, I loved books like this when I was a child. I still have a few. And so I think that it was just so beautiful the way uh, you wrote the book. And if you could just tell the Cult of Kindness audience a little bit about yourself.
Yeah, no, the book is called The Mirror Box, and I'm writing a series of children's books called the Emotional Agility Matters Children's Series. It's a series of books that are designed to help children connect and understand and manage their emotions in
That's
a way
so
that,
great.
that's helpful. Yeah.
Yes, yes, wonderful. It was such a tender and touching way that you told the story. Um, I initially want to ask if it was based on your own personal experience as a child. Did you draw from any personal experience with the book?
Well, of course, like most people, I've lost people in my life. Uh,
Yes.
but there's little pieces in there that were used, but it was more simply yeah, asking myself, what if I had to deal with the strongest emotion, and if I had uh, had to write, or had one book to write this, rather than wait, I would lean into this and take on the hardest emotional challenge, and see what came to me, because writing is something I discovered late in life here. I spent most of my career a small business owner, and I really felt unsettled, and something was out of alignment, and so I went through some different changes, and one of the big changes, and significant to why I started writing about emotions, was that one of my very best friend took his life, and he was in
Mm.
his 40s, and yeah, just a very kind man that looked had everything going on, was spending a great deal of time working on his own, uh, you know, bettering himself and to the outside world. He was a pillar of the community, but
Mm.
he, yeah, things just emotionally got to be too much. He didn't share these challenges, and this type of thing can happen. So I really felt a strong pull to write into things like that, and I, as I rediscovered myself, I found out how much writing was therapeutic, and also I enjoy so much spending time with kids, and I've noticed that over the years how much I enjoy that space, and so being able to write a children's book about something like this, it feels like home for me. So that was important to um, really not continue down a path despite what it might have seemed to the outside world. But it felt better for me to move in the direction that felt made me happier. And
Right.
that's something I think I'd like to share with people, is pay attention to when you're feeling good, because that's where you should be spending most of your time. And there are times um, that we just disregard or don't want to pay attention to that part of ourselves.
That's true. That's true. Last night I was watching an episode of a show and it dealt with an individual taking their life. And as a woman in my 40s, like I could see the writings on the wall were building to that happening. And, as an adult, we're still fragile with things like that. It's like uh, we're adults, but we're not exempt from feeling the same feelings, that children can feel because it's still a lot to take in. And I found myself saying, well, should I turn the episode off because I can see where it's going, but it's like, it's why like writing a book like this is not only helpful for children, but for the parents reading it along with their children. It's like we become adults and we feel like, oh, we can handle these things, but we're not exempt. We're, still capable of feeling the same feelings we felt in childhood.
And losing a loved one for the parents is extremely difficult. It's
Yeah.
just it's just they have to deal with that, and a child just looks up to the parents or the adults for guidance, and if they're not able to manage it, that leaves them really in a confusing place.
Oh,
So,
yes.
I was really hopeful uh, that this type of book could help. I mean, you have to grieve, but I wanted the message to be something that maybe stuck with them in a way that there is a chance to connect and stay connected, and it just has to be in a different way than
For
than you were accustomed to. And so I feel good about the message. I feel good about the book, and
Yeah.
hopefully it'll get a chance to get in the more hands of people that could use it at that particular period of time when it's really, really important to have something to grab onto.
Oh, sure. It was such a beautiful and gentle approach. And at the beginning of the book, you dedicated to your two beautiful sons. That was so nice. Were they like your initial audience after you completed the book?
Well, they're grown from the picture that's within the book now,
Yeah.
but I thought, you know, they're so important to my life, and if I can bring them into the book, and maybe their grandparents, or when their parents, this will be an opportunity to share that with them, the connection, and hopefully I'll have that chance to build that rapport there. But if nothing else, it's all about us being connected, and sharing something that I think really can help, and stepping aside to me doing something for myself, doing something that can help others, and
Absolutely.
feels good doing that.
Wonderful. You were talking about emotional agility, and I think that's so wonderful because children today, I was saying before we came on, I feel like they're dealing with a lot of emotions and situations that we weren't necessarily, introduced to as children. And I'm not a parent, but I can only imagine the challenges of having to guide them through. When you wrote the book, did you also feel like I want to have a space where, in a climate where parents are having to talk to their children about things they would never imagine they'd have to talk to, in regards to loss, even beyond, like a grandparent, did you have in mind that this would be a useful tool going forward for many different instances like that?
Yeah, I'd love to think that one, be able to spend that sacred time together, just reading one-on-one and sharing the book, rather than here's a book or here's a tablet. You're together with the child. It's good for them. It's good for you. It's a really special spot for them to get your undivided attention. And
Yes.
there's no other inheritance that you could get that's worth more than that. It's just that time together, and
Right.
to be able to have the grandparents think ahead too, in regards to, okay, you know how can I make, we all eventually pass away or die, but what can I leave behind, or how do I want my grandchild or child to remember me, or what significance, or something in nature where it brings back those memories, the fond memories you shared together.
Mhm.
And I think that's good for them to, it's just a healthier way to look at life, because it's the reality of it. We're here and then we pass away, and the less fear we bring into our lives, and we've been confronted with the last couple of years now with an overwhelming amount of fear, and the children and ourselves, and so that's just elevated, and it doesn't make it easy, but we need to understand and find, revisit what love feels like instead
Yes.
of the fear that's just every everywhere you look, it's there if you want to see it, but choose to look for love, and it's there. So that's hopefully those are things that the book can bring out, and all the books, and the way I write, I won't just write a children's book that's simple. It's something from the heart. That's just the way. There's no other way I can write. So if whatever comes out is what comes out of the
Yeah.
inside of me. Yeah.
Yes, wonderful. Yeah, so on the Cult of Kindness podcast, of course, we're highlighting our kindness journey. And when I first started the podcast, I was just looking for books. And the funniest thing, like, I found so many books to help children, on their path to kindness, which is important. But, I was like, as adults, we don't top off. Like, we need to continue to learn about kindness as adults. And so I think that it's wonderful that the way you wrote the book, the structure is teaching them about loss. And it's very gentle and it's kind, and the realization that he has, in regards to how his grandfather wanted everyone to feel or look at his loss. That's so important. Do you feel like, as a children's author, do you feel the importance of instilling, the facts that there are loss? It's important to know kindness. You won't only be the only one experiencing loss. You will lose your grandparents, you'll lose your parents. And when you learn the process of how to cope, the importance of being there for others when they go through that, their friends, be it young or old, or if the unfortunate incident comes about where their school is involved in something devastating. Do you think that you'll go on to create books that address situations beyond family members for those children that find themselves in those horrible situations?
Yeah, I like to think that all these social emotional learning tools that are coming out are so important, and I hope that they're utilized more, and having children be able to recognize that, to empathize and understand others and help them, because it's such a winning thing. And I think more and more kids and teachers are starting to make that a priority, because it's so, to some people it's not a natural thing. They don't understand. They just didn't grow up with it, so they don't get it. And so the sooner they can understand and empathize, the more they can help one another through these challenges, because it's part of life and it's part of our learning about ourselves. Doesn't make it easy. All these
No,
challenges, they're there, and they're not, and you may never understand why you had to go through it, but at the same time, you have to trust that there's something important there that you're learning for yourself, and in turn an opportunity to learn from, to grow from, and become
absolutely. Yeah.
become something bigger and better, and understanding you're so much more than the physical part of being here, and just to understand that,
Yes.
and but yeah, that's for sure. The
Yeah.
kindness is part of the whole equation.
It is. It is. And yeah, the book, like I said, I can't express enough how sweet and tender the delivery was, and the innocence that's within the book that, in this day and age, I think so many children, they're, used to like high tech and all of this. I really appreciated the beautiful innocence of how you wrote the book.
Yeah, thank you. I think that just the busy life that we live as adults and parents, and they see that, and they understand, it's just in the world we live in, it's just so fast paced. And then the disconnect with all the devices, and yes, they move us along quicker, and we're advancing, and our lives are better in a certain way, but at the same time, we're losing, that quiet calmness, because that's where we become, the best parts of ourselves are sitting right there. And sometimes when
Yes.
we're just on autopilot, going, it's we're not being, the best of who we are. So that's part of it, is slowing down in those times where you're just feeling overwhelmed with fear, and
Sure.
understanding or feeling the presence of something a lot bigger than yourself.
Sure, absolutely. As the author, is it cathartic for you, although writing books for children, is it cathartic for you to put something in the world that is helpful for others?
It feels amazing to step in and not worry. Or I mean, it was nerve-wracking when you're pouring it all out there, and your time, energy, money, everything to do something that you have no idea, where it's going to lead, or if it's going to lead anywhere. But you
Sure.
just have to move forward with it. But it does feel surreal to be able to know that and see things and get responses from people or organizations that say, this is really doing some good. And so
Yes, beautiful. Uh, for those that have children, and I mean, I don't have children. I thoroughly enjoyed the book, so that's because I'm someone who I can appreciate at any age. But for those that have children, can you let them know where they can find your book, The Mirror, The Window Box?
the mirror box is on well, you can buy it on Amazon. Otherwise, just go directly to my website. It's bergnerbooks.com, and it's
I mean, I'm so sorry. I put the window box. What is the mirror box?
the mirror box. Yeah.
Yeah,
and and
because I'm remembering the part in the book. I'm like, wait a minute, it is the mirror
well,
box.
yes. Well, the story itself, the boy, loses his grandfather, and he's had a great connection with him, and when he goes through this, he is really mourning like everyone else, but he relaxes for just a minute, because he's so exhausted from crying and whatnot. And his puppy dog is on his chest, and he suddenly awakens to the squeaking noise underneath the bed, and it
Mm-hmm.
reminds him that his grandfather left uh, a token or a gift to him. It's the mirror box. Yeah,
Yes, it's so precious, so
yeah.
very sweet.
Thanks.
And yeah, go ahead.
I can't remember. And yeah, I don't remember what I was going to say. Sorry.
Oh, no, it was very well done. Can the audience look for any other books that you've written for children or adults?
Yes, my first book was called The Bird Ride, and that came out about a year and a half, 2 years ago, kind of
Okay.
during the pandemic, and that's about a young boy as well that goes. He's out in the backyard playing with his cars, and he shrinks down in size and hops on the back of a bluebird. And the bluebird uh, shares with him a different perspective of life, and the energies
Hmm.
and the way he speaks, and how much power there is in the way he conveys himself verbally and non-verbally.
Okay.
And then,
Okay.
then I have a 5 other manuscripts that are queued up for the rest of the series as I roll
Oh,
them out over time. And some of those, but they're all along the ways, along the theme of emotions, and helping children and family open that space of where they can communicate about the challenges that they're confronted with, and not hide them under the rug, but be able to talk about things that come up as not only just themselves, but for the parents too, to understand, or for the children to see that even mom and dad have to go through these things, but it's
yeah.
okay, and it's okay,
Yeah.
and that's, I think, a healthy way to go through it. So all my books will have at the end an activity or a meditation of some sort, or some
Mm.
sort of interaction where they can apply what they learned, or get
Yeah.
some value that goes beyond the
Oh,
story, relevant to their life.
yes. Yes, that's what's so beautiful that the parents, are a part of the book as well. There's something for the children and the parents.
So, and I'm looking for trying to reach organizations and have had some success at it so far, but having funeral directors provide these books for children and families,
Oh,
and
wow.
grief organizations, and any area that or school counselors. I'm trying to reach out to school counselors and put it in their hands, so when things happen for children, they have something to lean in, or a resource for the schools themselves to work with. So yeah,
That's so wonderful. Uh, Personally, I immediately thought of a school that I could share your book with, and I think they'd really appreciate it. For individuals that would like to get in touch with you in regards to perhaps having books for their school, or just to reach out to you personally, where can they get in touch with you?
Yeah, please do. I'd love to hear from anyone, help out in whatever way I can. But
Yeah.
bergnerbooks.com is my website, Bergner
Okay.
books.com. And then otherwise, my email address is my name, Wade Bergner at outlook.com. And even I read the stories I have on my website so they can actually play. And so, and the if there's an opportunity for me to personalize books, I'd be glad
Mm.
to do that. But yeah, I really look forward to the opportunity to meeting up and connecting with the right people, because that's why I'm here, and that's what lights me up. So
No, yeah, for
yeah,
sure. No, it's so important. And like I said, you did it in such a beautiful fashion. I truly appreciated it.
yeah. All right, thank you.
Yes. Well, everyone, again, this is Wade Bergner. His book is The Mirror Box. And if you would like to reach out to him, please do so. Personally, I highly recommend reading the book as even as an adult. It was just so beautiful and touching, and we can learn just the way our children can. Wade, thank you so much for being on.
It's my pleasure. Thank you so much, Marcy.
Thank you. Take care.
Yeah, you as well.